Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will call the Common Council to order. I will ask our clerk to call the roll to determine a quorum.
Alderperson Reinke.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Barzak.
Excused.
Chapletsky.
Here.
Haas.
Here.
Lysick.
Here.
May.
Here.
Probst. 9 present, 1 excused.
We have a quorum. Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led this evening by Alderperson Reinke. Okay, we'll move on to item D in our agendas. We have one item for public hearing this evening, and I'll ask the clerk to read out that item.
A hearing on the amendment to the fiscal year 2013 through 2017 Community Development Block Grant Action Plans, as noted on the hearing notice, relative to closing various 2013 through 2016 activities and transferring a total of approximately $169,406 of unused funds to the existing 2017 Roosevelt Park Improvements activity and a new slum and blight removal 67th and Beecher activity.
Ms. Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor Devine. I just wanted to comment that Mr. Stiebel and Mr. Schloss are out of state for a conference this week, which is why I am doing the public hearing on the Development Department's behalf. First, a public hearing is required when we make any amendments to the Community Development Block Grant plans, annual plans, and we have some older unused funds for CDBG. And the first proposal is to create a new activity for about $100,000 for slum and blight removal for 67th and Beecher. The city is obligated to build public right-of-way road and sidewalks. The new development, Glenn Reeder, has purchased this 11.5-acre property from the Community Development Authority just last week, with groundbreaking taking place this Friday. And there is an unpaved city right-of-way road that's gravel right now, and we're proposing to use Community Development Block Grant funds to fund the road construction and also new sidewalk along the west side of the property. This is the current condition of that road on the northwest corner of the property. You can see the pavement ends here, but the right-of-way continues east a little bit and is gravel. Also, the west side of the property does not have public right-of-way sidewalk. And so the proposal is to create this new activity funding these two infrastructure projects to remove slum and blight, which gravel roads is considered such category. Also, with the unused funds, we're proposing to fund the existing Roosevelt Park Improvements project. The Common Council in November approved a budget of $168,000, which does not fill the proposed, or excuse me, what is assumed to be the project budget of roughly $250,000. So there's a shortfall with the current budget. And with the remaining $69,000 in CDBG funds, we're proposed to increase that budget for a total of $237,000. Here's the existing playground for Roosevelt Park. It's about a 1-acre site, the entire property, on the east side of 60th Street, or west side of 58th, I should say. The scope of the project would include off of 58th Street, sidewalk improvements, and then new playground equipment. We don't have playground equipment design yet. Our consultant is currently working on that right now. And this will be publicly bid and will come before the Common Council for approval once the contract of the playground equipment. That concludes my portion of the public hearing, and staff recommends approval of the proposed CDBG plan and budget amendments.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the members of the council?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Haas?
Yeah, Christie, I think I have a problem with us using the term slum and blight removal. Slum and blight in particular, I don't think that the area of 67th and Beecher is a slum by any means. It might be a little bit blighted. where does that term slum and blight removal come from? I imagine it's from the CD, the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, actual language of the statute. Is that correct?
It is, only a portion of the CDBG funds is allowed for what they call slum and blight removal. And this being a gravel, unimproved road qualifies in that category on CDBG funds. It's just a technical federal term, yes.
A term of art.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Alderman Haas. Any other comments or questions from the council?
Mayor Devine,
Alderperson Ranky?
Christie, will there be any other funds available for the Roosevelt Park?
At this point, we don't have any other CDBG funds, but if a project were,
Private sources, I meant.
oh, private sources, no, excuse me,
You said, okay,
not at this time.
all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, are there any comments or questions on this public hearing from the audience? Okay, seeing none, we will close public hearing number 1. We will move on to item E, which is citizen participation. This is the opportunity for residents to address the council on any matters of interest to them. We limit this portion to 30 minutes, and we ask that you try to keep your comments to approximately 5 minutes. Because the topics you bring up may not be on our agenda, we are not allowed to engage in debate on this topic, on this portion of the agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to address the council under citizen participation this evening? We ask that you approach the podium and give us your name and address for our official record.
Thank you. Mayor Devine, if I could interrupt just real quickly.
Alderman Weigel?
I just got a text from a constituent watching at home. They're saying the audio is out. They can't hear us on channel 25. So if you could maybe get the word up to.
Our IT director is
RT
on his way
running off the-
downstairs.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Alderman.
Mayor Devine, City Council. My name is Richard Polivka. I live at 807 South 90th Street. In reading the minutes, proposed minutes for today and the resolutions therefore attached, one of the things that was missing that I think should be there for a matter of clarity and transparency is whenever there is a piece of legislation offered up, there is no mention of who the authors are of the legislation, who the movements or seconds are within the committee. The only thing that we find is published out in the field is a committee approved it. We have no idea where it came from in terms of source. My suggestion would be and the fields are already present in the documents on Legistar, to have those fields filled so that constituents can understand what's going on, who's doing the work, and who is not. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Einigmer. I'm with the Business Improvement District, 7231 West Greenfield Avenue. I just wanted to say that the West Allis a la carte is coming up in 19 days, and we are still looking for volunteers. I know some of our older people are already helping us out this year, but it's Sunday, June 4th from noon to 6. So if anybody's available to help us out, that would be greatly appreciated. We have jobs for all ages. It's everything from setup and takedown to working a ticket booth. So if you could help us out this year, that'd be great. Thanks.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Hello, my name is Tracy Stefanski, and I live at 1982 South 75th Street in West Allis, Wisconsin. The ordinance change being presented tonight in advisory to exclude members of the Common Council from closed session meetings where they may have litigation, a pending complaint, or quasi-judicial matters against the city is a huge violation of my rights as a taxpayer. I completely understand needing to protect the city from litigation from a potential lawsuit, but what happens when the outcome isn't personal and has no financial payout? While I'm sure the council will say this has nothing to do with the situation regarding Alderman Probst and her claims against the Development Department, the timing of this ordinance introduction is certainly suspect. My issue is this. You are looking to keep my representative out of closed session meetings where she has publicly stated she seeks no financial damages now or ever. At issue is her inability to represent the people who elected her. If in fact her claims are accurate and the Development Department did not do as they told her they did, informing the county board of her opposition, then the will of the people has already been challenged. She was given a direction by us in terms of what we wanted from our representative. She proceeded, calling out those who didn't do as they should have in her responsibility as my representative. To further bar her from representing me could be grounds for a lawsuit, as you deprive me of my equal representation under law. I have consulted an attorney on this, and I am prepared to file a lawsuit against the city if you choose to continue in this direction and pass this ordinance as it is currently worded. I will not stand by and let my representative be denied access to these discussions because a mess has been created and you are now trying to resolve this without full representation of the council. By doing this, you have minimized my representation as a taxpayer, making every other district's residents more valuable than those of us in the 2nd District. Perhaps you should amend this ordinance change to separate those claims that seek personal financial damage and those that are about appropriate representation. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Hi there. My name is Dave Stoffaker, and I own my home at 1931 South 69th Street. My wife and I have lived here in West Allis for 16 years. Some of you may have recognized me in this room before and see me around town. I'm very active with a lot of programs that benefit our community, scouting programs, PTA groups, etc. And in my role as a scout leader, one of the pillars of the scouting program is teaching our boys the importance of citizenship. Not just about paying taxes and voting and being a good neighbor, that's kind of self-evident. But we talk about the need to actually participate in your community and participate in government. Voice your concerns when appropriate and work for justice in your community and the world. So it's in that spirit that I'm here addressing you tonight. Earlier this week, I reviewed a draft of the proposed ordinance that will be discussed later on tonight, where the City Council can prevent elected members from attending closed-door council meetings if that member is involved in any litigation with the city, etc. I have 3 concerns with this proposed ordinance, and I'm encouraging you all to withhold your support tonight. First, based on the draft that I saw, the proposed ordinance has no provisions for limiting meetings from which a member is excluded to only discussing the matters for which it would not be appropriate to have that member present. Even with the best of intentions to leverage the ordinance responsibly, anytime a council member is excluded from participating in council business, his or her ability to serve his or her constituents is compromised. Second, this ordinance creates a conflict for the members of this council. It can very easily put an alderperson, one of you, in a position of sacrificing your rights to due process in lieu of attending meetings to support your constituents, or vice versa. For example, should you have need to seek legal arbitration between yourself and another member of our city's government, you would have to weigh your right to grievance against the likelihood that your issue would be discussed at a meeting that also covers critical business affecting your district. Third, and what I feel is most important in tonight's matter, the proposed ordinance denies the citizens of West Allis proper representation in the city government. Entangling members of this council and other areas of our city government in complaints and quasi-legal matters can easily become a tool used to stack the deck to pass votes in closed-door matters. Anytime this council conducts business without my representation in the room, my neighbors and I lose our voice, the voice we elected to represent us. Pushed to the extreme, as worded in the draft, the proposed ordinance could be leveraged to marginalize the needs of entire neighborhoods in our city. I understand the need for the city to maintain confidentiality and sometimes attorney-client privilege for legal matters between the cities and its employees and elected officials. In the current form, the proposed ordinance lacks the protections a proposal of this nature should include to guarantee the citizens' representation in city matters and council members a fair and safe work environment. I strongly encourage all of the members of this council to withdraw their support for the proposed ordinance tonight until a more succinct and thorough revision can be brought forward. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening?
Hi, my name is Ryan Roth. I live at 2891 South 91st Street here in West Dallas, 4th District. Just wanted to stand and also voice my support for what the last two speakers had said. I think this ordinance is, this does not serve the citizens of West Dallas. And I just wanted to stand here and say that I also oppose this. And I wanted to let you know that this is not just Kathy's district that opposes this. There's others of us out there that do not approve of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anybody else? Oh, never mind. I see someone.
My name is Jamie Donald, 809 South 120th Street. I also would like to oppose this ordinance. I'm in full support of Kathy Probst, and I don't think that anyone should be quiet and be shut down. That's all I have.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation?
Good evening, Suzette Grisham, owner of Suzette's Hair For You on National Avenue. For the past two Common Council meetings, you've seen me, and I vocalized my opposition to what has been going on within 2nd District as far as expert automotive. I think we all stand clear on how I felt about it. For those in the audience who are not privy to that or did not attend, I wanted to see that building demolished. I was approached years ago by Marty as well as Kathy regarding the area, what we would want to see for it, the vision, etc. This is a shame on you moment that I see our council and our city in a dogfight, which has embarrassed me personally, embarrassed a lot of citizens, but moreover, we need to take a look at our representation. We voted Kathy in. Each one of you sitting there privileged in that chair get voted in. She did her job. She did the job above and beyond that I asked her to do. It ended up, the votes didn't go through. That's fine. We're all grown up. We can deal with it. We can lick our wounds after the fact. But the bottom line is, the way this went down, and each of you know how it went down. Maybe the audience does not. Maybe a lot of people on Fox 6 do not know in the audience. But we know. And there are people, the powers that be, you know as well as I, that did this backwards. I was told personally that this building was coming down. I can have a tantrum about it. I'm not going to do that. I have a business that I'm running. You have a business that you're running, and you have constituents that count on you to do your job effectively. Keeping her or any other, and I'm sorry, you're not a her, Alderman Probst, out of any closed session meetings is absurd, to say the least. I don't know of anyone in this audience that would agree that that's okay to do. And this is about as crowded as I've seen a Common Council meeting in a very long time. You know why? Because you people are our voices. So a lot of us people don't think we have to come here. We don't have to come here because guess what? Kathy's doing her job. Mike's doing his job. Everybody's doing their job and representing us. So then when we come back collectively in committee and say, okay, we're just going to vote this down, when someone's fighting so damn hard because the people in her district want this to happen, and somebody from another district who has no clue what's going on besides what's written on the paper says, oh no, I think $125,000 is a great damn deal for this automotive place that has been vacant for 10 years, that has been rat infested, that has been falling apart, that has been a detriment to my business. And I'm active in this community. I bust my ass in this community. And you know what? I'm closing my doors in this community. But shame on all of you if you pass this tonight. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation this evening.
My name is Noah Lee. I live at 7026 West Rogers Street. I just want to talk about a couple things here tonight. I don't have a prepared statement. I do agree with a lot of the things that have been said here previously regarding the ordinance that's up for vote here tonight. I think that some of the language that's in it could be tweaked to make it a little more in the vein of what it was designed for originally. The timing is a bit suspect as well regarding other things that are currently going on with the city. And I think that that is something else that should be considered when you're thinking about voting yes or no on this ordinance here this evening. I also have concerns regarding the issue with the Expert Automotive Care Building and how exactly these things happened. You know, there have been things that have said, things that, you know, have come from one side of the story, and I haven't heard back from the city on the other side of the story. And I think that that's something that, when it comes to transparency and how things are done, something as a school board member I learned a lot about when I was running, I think is very important. And I think as a citizen in this city, it's important for me that I can see that transparency come from the city government as well as I would expect from myself as a school board member. So I would encourage the city to make sure to be clear and concise about what did occur regarding the Expert Automotive Care Building, the decisions that were made, how they came about, and that is expressly told to the citizens in as clear a manner as possible, removing all the government speak, if you will. And to also reconsider the ordinance as it is written, to table it for maybe a future time after some more thought has been put into it, so that it could be written, and again, the true nature of what that ordinance is supposed to achieve, which is protecting the city of West Dallas against lawsuits, to be done in such a way that we do not remove representation when it is not necessary to be done so. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for your comments. Does anybody else wish to address the council under citizen participation?
Good evening. My name is Patricia Concha, and I reside at 1028 South 75th Street. And basically, I just wanted to share something with you that I shared because I was inspired back in April 13 by posting that Alderman Michael May posted on his Facebook. And it was a link on how to take advantage of the certain programs of housing rehabilitation assistance. At that time, I was in my hometown back in Texas called San Benito, Texas. Just so that you know, it is considered one of the poorest regions in the nation. But this is what I posted, and this is just to give a different perspective. And I posted this to many friends back home as well. I put how I wish San Benito, Texas did this for their residents. What a disappointment it has been to see a once beautiful and vibrant little city become forgotten. Although I haven't resided in Texas in nearly 19 years, it has been disheartening to see that San Benito has turned its back on old neighborhoods where we all grew up in. And even on the main strip that once used to thrive with local businesses, which used to be Sam Houston Boulevard, does anyone remember when we could go buy a pair of shoes at Martina's Shoes, a wedding gift at Weaver's Fine Jewelry? If you needed furniture, there was Garcia's Furniture. Menswear, Ogden's, and Val's were always there. There was the Perry's and JCPenney's, etc. The point is that our parents used to support our local businesses, and that is one of the reasons why they thrived. And other was that the support of local leadership. My thought is that San Benito residents, with an election coming up, you must ask questions from your leaders. What do they propose for San Benito? And how do they plan on achieving it? It appears to me that there's a lack of leadership in San Benito. And I went on to say, do not give your power away to the same people that have done nothing to improve your town. Also, what is up with having 4 detention centers in San Benito? Did the city receive funds for allowing these centers? If so, how much? Where has that money gone to? Certainly not for home improvement programs, beautification of downtown, nor much needed street repairs. That there was my rant for the folks of San Benito. With that being said, my plea to you here sitting in council representing our city of West Dallas is I implore you to come to a resolution over the allegations made by Alderman Probst. It saddens me to hear that a female representing is being sidelined by her male colleagues, if that is so. Giving you the benefit of the doubt because you have, some of you I have known for quite some time. I've known your family, our children have intermingled and gone to school together, but it doesn't seem to me that this is the way that some of you would carry business or do business here within the city. So since most of you wouldn't want your mother, your wife, sister, daughter, or even a granddaughter to be treated in this manner by any man or person, I implore you to please come to a resolution. I do question my representation now, whether my voice is going to be fully heard. I have come in the past to get to know Alderman Probst as well as Marty Weigel, whom I feel have represented my voice quite loudly. I'm going to ask you to please continue doing the good job that you have done for the city. Sometimes I think we get sidelined, and I just want you to know that no matter what, I'm still a proud resident of West Allis, and I hope that you will be able to continue and do business in a proper manner. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Does anybody else in the audience wish to take part in citizen participation this evening? Okay, seeing none, we will close citizen participation. We will move on to item F on your agendas. Our standing committees will be meeting during recess, and those room numbers are listed on page 1. Moving on to item G, the mayor's report. I have a few things. Looking backwards at last Monday, the West Allis Police Department had their awards ceremony here at City Hall, where they congratulated all the employees of the department that went above and beyond and excelled in their jobs as police officers and detectives and management there at the department. I also want to take a minute to thank the businesses and the residents that stepped up, whether it was supporting the department through donations, services, or just residents in our community that helped out on certain cases, resulting in what might have been a different result without their help. I just want to take a moment to publicly commend them. One last reminder that the West Allis Fire Department is having their open house this Saturday. That is from, I believe, 10 o'clock until 1 o'clock at the 67th Place Station. It is a fun, family-friendly event. They have Flight for Life doing a landing. The grill will be going. The kids can climb all over the fire trucks and the ambulances. And there are various demonstrations on fire safety. And our acting chief, Pooler, informed us this morning they were going to burn up a car. So tomorrow, 4 o'clock, I am going to be joining County Supervisor Tony Staskunas. We are going to be tapping the first keg at the Sprecher Traveling Beer Garden, which is opening up at Greenfield Park. There's always a line, so I think that the first barrel is free, but I haven't confirmed that, so maybe we'll see you there. And I also want to announce quickly, we have 2 businesses that are taking off on Friday morning, as was mentioned in the public hearing. Glen Reeder Development over on the 67th Place Business Park will be having their groundbreaking. This is going to be a $10 million facility, 120,000 square feet, and their goal is to be up, occupied, and running within 9 months. And Friday afternoon on 63rd and Greenfield, Lula May Spa is having her grand opening. That is in the condos that have had first floor retail that has been vacant for some time. Got our first tenant in there, so hopefully that will snowball a little bit. But she has received some assistance from the city in getting her business open. She's kind of been in the soft opening stage right now with, I'm told, nail treatments and a lot of things I don't use, massages, things like that. So, and then Emily had talked about the Downtown a la carte festival already, so she shortened my mayor's report by 1 item. That does conclude the mayor's report. Do we have, moving to item H, any reports from the alderpersons this evening?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman May.
This week is Police Week, and yesterday was Peacekeepers Memorial Day. So if you have an opportunity, if you see a cop driving around, if you could just give him a thank you, maybe stop into the station. And in fact, I would say not just our police officers, but everyone from the people working the front office to our dispatchers on up to the chief. They do a fine job, have caused me no reason to doubt their fine work. So So thank you to the chief and all our police officers in the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other alderpersons' reports?
Mayor Devine,
Alderperson Ranky?
we'd be very remiss if we didn't mention that Memorial Day will be coming soon, the end of the month. This is a special holiday that is set aside to remember those who served our country, keeping us safe, and those who have sacrificed for our freedom and peace. The Celebrations Committee will be honoring our West Allis vets who ride the trolleys in the parade. On May 29th, the parade will be held at 10 o'clock. It starts at 70th Street and ends basically on 70th Street at the Veterans Park, where a ceremony takes place. Our veterans, if there are any veterans today, can call Alderman Rote, who will set aside a place for them in the trolleys. Alderman Rote takes care of these trolleys for the city, and he should be commended for this. Each veteran will be given a lunch, which is part of the Celebrations Committee contribution, as well as the cheese and sausage shop that has contributed, and our own restaurants have also made a contribution for this project. Basically, it's all about appreciating our vets. We in our community certainly want to show our patriotic spirit by honoring them in some shape or form. And so this is our gift to them, to thank them for their contribution for us. And I have to say, I sends God blessing on all of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other alderpersons' reports?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move for approval of the minutes of the Common Council regular meeting of May 2nd, 2017.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving to item J on our agendas, I'll ask for a motion to refer item 3 to the city attorney.
So moved.
Second.
So motion by Alderman May, second by Alderperson Reinke. Is there any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Standing committee reports, we have none.
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we stand in recess until conclusion of the committee meetings.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderperson Reinke. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in recess.